So I am back with another Scream Factory update. I've got 35 titles to go over today in this video, including 4 new double features. We'll get started right after this. Welcome back to Pop's Movie Dungeon. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank y'all for clicking on the video. So today, I have got 35 Scream Factory titles we're going to be going over. 4 of those are double features. And I'm just about done with all the double features. I think I have 5 or 6 more still to grab. So I'm getting real close to finishing that line. But I'm really excited to go over these titles with you guys today. But guys, before we get started, I got a very special announcement. I have been nominated for Horror Movie Channel of the Month over by my buddy Garrett over at Born to Be Rad. He was the winner for the month of April. And he was tasked for picking 4 channels to be nominated for the month of May. And I was lucky enough to be one of those channels. So, Garrett, I really appreciate it, buddy. I'm very honored. The other 3 channels that were also nominated was GCAP Recap, Captain Sassy Media, and Flesh Wound Features. All great channels. I'm just excited to be in the mix. I'm going to link the video that Garrett announced the nominees down below. All you have to do is go to his channel, go down to the comments, and vote on your favorite channel out of these 4. And if you guys would consider voting for Pop's Movie Dungeon, it would mean a lot to me, guys. So I'm going to give this a go and see if I have a chance of winning this thing. Like I said, I'm going against some pretty stiff competition, but I'm pretty excited to see the turnout. So make sure you go over and subscribe to Born to Be Rad. He just hit 1,000 subscribers. His YouTube channel of the month. He's on cloud 9 right now. He's killing it over there. He's got some great content. But Garrett, thank you so much again for nominating me, buddy. I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. And once again, guys, go over there and cast those votes. And I'm not very good at promoting stuff like this, but if you guys like the channel, if you guys want to see me win Horror Movie Channel of the Month, I would really appreciate your vote. Alright guys, we're going to go in and get started with this video. We have a lot of movies to go over today. But the first 4 we're going to go over today are going to be the 4 double features I picked up. Guys, this first one I picked up was a movie that I was a big fan of. I actually was introduced to this movie probably about 4 or 5 years ago. That is the double feature, The Food of the Gods and Frogs. Now, The Food of the Gods I have seen, Frogs I have not. Look at that cover, guys. I love an animal attack movie, and I know it's a damn frog, but I'm excited to check it out. And I also know that that a very early role for Sam Elliott in the movie Frogs, so I'm excited about checking that out. But I will show you guys the artwork here. Now, guys, these double features that I got, they're way out of print, and this one is definitely way out of print. So, there's the inside. But I'm super excited to finally have this one. This is one that's been on my want list for a while. So I'm very excited about checking these out. I haven't watched Food of the Gods in a few years. This movie is what it is. It's campy as hell. It's over-the-top bad special effects. It's bad acting, guys, but it's done in such a good way. It's a fun movie to watch. So I'm very proud of that one, guys. Alright. The next double feature I picked up are 2 movies I'm not familiar with. And that is Metamorphosis and Beyond Darkness. Now, I want to say maybe it was last year. Around Black Friday, several will release, I think they call them unmarketable slipcovers. And, well, this one here, they released this as House 5. This one here, they included a slip of Beyond Darkness, and they called it Las Casas or something like that. And the slipcover said House 5. The one they did before that was Cruel Jaws. And they threw a Jaws 5 slipcover on the outside of that one. Being a big Jaws fan, I had to grab it. So I'm very excited to have that one. But I want to say Beyond Darkness was the movie they did that with. But I want to say Beyond Darkness is one of those movies that has multiple titles. And I do believe it's the same movie. I'm sure Brian Goes Blue's going to correct me or either let me know that I'm right or not. But the movie Metamorphosis, I don't know anything about it. But it sounds like a pretty cool movie. It says, when his experiments in genetics are mocked by his colleagues, maverick scientist Dr. Peter Hausman takes extreme measures to prove that his untested anti-aging serum works. Injecting himself with his miracle cure, he soon experiences a terrifying change within himself that threatens not only the lives of those around him, but also his own sanity. Cult cinema mainstay George Eastman, Metamorphosis proves that nightmares may change, but fear is forever. So it sounds like a good time. This is another one I'm very excited to have. So that's going to be a fun one. And guys, this next one, I've never seen either one of these. It looks like a very cheap knockoff of maybe Conan the Barbarian. I don't know much about them. It's Deathstalker 1 and 2. Double feature. I'll show you the back there. It looks like a Beastmaster Conan ripoff. But Yeah, first one says Journey to the Age of Awesome Magic. Second one says his battle isn't over yet. First one came out in 83. The sequel came out in 1987. So, don't know much about them. And guys, I'll try not to say this 1,000 times. I feel like I say it all the time. But I really do mean it. If you guys have anything to say about these movies, any insight, or maybe what I should put at the top of the stack to watch first, please let me know down below. Because with a lot of these Screen Factory standalone editions, there's always a ton of blind buys. This next one I'm really excited about, and the first movie on this one here is definitely not a blind buy. I've seen this movie many times back in the day. I'm a big fan of it. And of course, that is The Curse and Curse 2. It's actually The Curse and The Curse 2: The Bite. I mean, I love that cover art. This is one that I've been wanting for a while. This one was not cheap, but I am glad to check it off the list. There's the inside artwork on that one there, and I will show you all the inside artwork. So one thing that I did find out doing a little research on this one is the movie was directed by David Keith. And I'll pop his picture right up here. Now, the first time I was ever introduced to David Keith was a movie that I grew up loving, and that's An Officer and a Gentleman. But he's been in a ton of other stuff. I didn't realize he directed. I had no idea he directed this movie. Another thing about The Curse that I found interesting was it was based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft. It's a story, The Color Out of Space. Now, if you guys remember a couple years ago, Nicolas Cage came out with that movie, The Color Out of Space. But I never realized that The Curse and Color Out of Space were related like that. I just didn't know. So, I thought that was kind of interesting. And that's another good thing about stuff like this, guys, is revisiting these old movies. You know, it's really neat to kind of see who was involved. And back when this came out in the video store days, you know, I would go rent a movie, I'd watch a movie, I'd get the Fangoria magazine and read a little bit. But, you know, for the most part, you know, back in those days, I didn't really deep dive into a lot of these movies. I loved them, but I didn't really go in and find out, you know, details about the movie. And one good thing about going back now and watching some of these old movies is a lot of these people now are big stars. And so you kind of see, oh, I know that guy, or I know that guy, or I didn't know he directed that. And I really get off on shit like that, guys. And that's one of the big reasons why I collect all these old movies. Alright, guys, that's going to do it for the double features. So we'll get started on the standalone releases. We got this collection update. And the first one is going to be a 1985 movie called The Bride. And this, of course, stars Sting and Jennifer Beals. And this is only the second film that Jennifer Beals starred in. This came out right after Flashdance. This, like I said, this movie came out in 85. This would have been the height of Sting's career. I was a pretty big Police fan. I never seen this movie. I never seen Dune. Never really a big fan of Sting as an actor. But I am excited to check this one out now. I remember this being a big deal back in the day. MTV days, Sting was everywhere. And I do remember this being a big deal when it came out. But I'll go ahead and show you guys the artwork there. There's the front and there is the back. And there is the disc art. And a shot of the inside. But this movie in 85 when it came out, that would have been the 50-year anniversary for the Bride of Frankenstein. You know, this is a remake of the Bride of Frankenstein. So I thought that was kind of cool. It says, after years of research, the doctor finally succeeds in creating the perfect woman who gets the name Eva. Now, this stars Sting, Jennifer Beals, and Clancy Brown. Now, I'm a big fan of Clancy Brown. You know, I really loved him in Pet Sematary 2 and Shawshank Redemption. I know he's been in a ton of other stuff, but Clancy Brown's a great actor. So I'm excited to see him in this. But yeah, guys, that's The Bride. I've never seen it. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Next up, we have a movie starring Freddy Krueger himself, and that is Robert Englund and Danse Macabre. And I do know there are fans of this movie. I have never seen it. This movie came out in 1992, and it says here, a dance instructor brings his dance troupe to Russia for training. What his dancers don't know, however, is that he has a dual personality, and his hidden personality is a serial killer. So I have seen Robert Englund star in other stuff besides Nightmare on Elm Street, but not a whole lot. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I'll show you guys a shot of the inside. As you know, the Screen Factory titles that are not collector's editions usually don't have reverse cover art. Every once in a while you will see it, but for the most part you're just going to get a shot of the film. It's another one that I'm excited to check out, guys. Moving on, we have an old one here. This is 1959, and this stars Vincent Price, and that is a movie called The Tingler. What a name, right? It says, an obsessed pathologist discovers and captures a parasitic creature that grows when fear grips its host. Pretty cool plot. And stars Vincent Price, and I'm sure there's some other names you guys would probably recognize. I don't recognize any of them. But there is a shot of the inside disc art, and I will pull this out to show you guys the inside. Now, I have watched a few Vincent Price films since I've been collecting all these older movies from Screen Factory, and I'm becoming a fan of Vincent Price pretty quickly. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Anything with Vincent Price in it, I'm game to watch it. This next one here is from 1975, and it's a movie called Night of the Seagulls. And when I was doing a little bit of research on this, I think this is the end of a trilogy, or the end of a series. As in this final installment of the Blind Dead series, a doctor and his wife move to a small, inhospitable coastal village where he plans to start a practice, only to discover that undead, demon-worshipping Templar knights haunt the place. So, the final installment of the Blind Dead series. And you guys let me know down below if you're familiar with the Blind Dead series, and let me know if there's what movies I need to look for. You know, do I need to? I'm assuming I probably shouldn't watch this one first. So yeah, you guys let me know. I'm trying to move through these things as fast as I can. I got a lot of titles to go through here, and I know you guys don't want to sit here for a couple hours watching me talk. So moving on to the next one, guys. We have one called The Wasp Woman, and this is coming from 1959. And I do love that artwork on all these older horror movie titles. You know, it looks just campy as hell. I love these old creature features, and the more of them that I watch, the more of a fan I'm becoming. But this one here says, the head of a major cosmetic company experiments on herself with a youth formula made from royal jelly extracted from wasps. But the formula's side effects have deadly consequences. And this was directed by Roger Corman. And anybody that has ever seen a Roger Corman film, you probably know what to expect on something like this. Let me give you guys a shot of the back. Look at those special effects. You guys can see that there. Yeah, this is going to be just campy as hell. And I think it's going to be a good time. Inside you get a shot of some, it looks like a shot of bees, even though I guess it's supposed to be wasps. Yeah, that is The Wasp Woman from 1959. Another creature feature I'm looking forward to checking out. Next one here is a little more modern. It's from 2018, and it's an IFC Midnight title. And traditionally, I'm a big fan of the IFC Midnights. Most of them I've really enjoyed. Whenever I opened this and I first looked at the package, I thought that there was a burn. I'm going to see if you guys can see this cover here. You see, I think it's coming through right there. It looked like the artwork was burned or had a stain or something on it. And I looked online, and that's actually the way it's supposed to look. But I don't think the camera's really picking it up. But it looks like there's like somebody stuck a lighter to it, is what it looks like. It's a little unusual. Just something I noticed. But this movie came out in 2018. It says, in the fall of 1960, Father Thomas Riley and Father John Thornton were sent by the Vatican to investigate a miraculous event in an Irish home for fallen women, only to uncover something much more horrific. And looking down, I don't see anybody in the cast I recognize. So, just a shot of the inside there. Maybe you guys recognize him. I don't. But yeah, that's the Devil's Doorway. Yeah, hopefully that'll be a good time. Alright. Our next up, we have a movie called The Unborn. This movie came out in 1991. And I have seen this movie, but it's been years. But this stars Brooke Adams. And you probably recognize her from The Dead Zone with my man Christopher Walken. And that's what I recognize her from. But it says, a couple struggling to conceive visit a miracle doctor as a last hope for having a child. The wife gets pregnant, but after the initial joy comes horror as she slowly discovers the nightmarish truth behind the doctor's success. And this also stars James Karen. He was great in Return of the Living Dead, Part 1 and 2. And also stars Kathy Griffin. What the hell's Kathy Griffin doing in this? Also stars Lisa Kudrow. So I'm assuming this is before Friends, being 91. But yeah, The Unborn. I seen it a long time ago. Looking forward to revisiting it again. And you get the artwork similar to the cover there. And there's a shot. So yeah, one I'm looking forward to. Now this next one, we're going way back. This is 1944, and it's a movie called The Curse of the Cat People. And guys, 44, that was a few moons ago. This movie here says, the young friendless daughter of Oliver and Alice Reed befriends her father's dead first wife and an aging reclusive actress. And guys, it's 1944. I'm not going to know anybody in this movie, but I will just show you guys the inside for anybody that may care. I mean, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably I'm going in with I'm gonna watch it, go into it with high hopes. But this is probably one that I would not have bought if it was not a Scream Factory title. I'm afraid at the end of the day, this is going to be just a collection finisher. But I'm hoping. Now this next one I'm very excited about. This is a movie from 1992 that stars Chevy Chase and Daryl Hannah, and that is Memoirs of an Invisible Man. And one thing I found out about this that I was unaware of before I looked this up before the video started is this movie was directed by John Carpenter. I watched this movie a gazillion times back in the day, but it's been years. And I don't remember John Carpenter being the director of this movie. So, you know, I was kind of excited about that. And also kind of surprised I didn't know that or didn't remember that. It says, after a freak accident, a company executive turns completely invisible, goes on the run, and becomes hunted by a treacherous CIA official while trying to cope with his new reality. And this stars Chevy Chase, Daryl Hannah, Sam Neill, Michael McKean, Stephen Tobolowsky, and you know him from Groundhog Day. Yeah, not seeing anybody else I recognize. But one thing I remember about this movie, and it's probably been 20 years since I've seen it. One thing I remember about this movie is back in the day, and it probably doesn't hold up now, but when Chevy Chase is totally invisible and he tries to eat something, I guess he sees his stomach, if I remember correctly, and he just throws it back up. With the invisible effect of him swallowing the food and throwing it back up. It was a big deal then. The special effects were kind of neat. Probably doesn't hold up now. But that's the first thing I think of when I think of this movie. So, Memoirs of an Invisible Man. And I remember this movie, you know, Chevy Chase, you traditionally think comedy. And I remember this movie's got some pretty dark moments to it, if I remember correctly. But definitely one I'm excited about checking out again. And I'll show you guys the inside. There's the disc art. I was kind of hoping for a reversible on this one, but you get just a shot on the inside there. So, yeah, but I'm a fan of this movie, guys, and I am looking forward to checking it out again. Still did not know that was John Carpenter. Next up, we have a movie that I'm not familiar with. This movie called The Binding. So I'll just show you all the cover there. A young woman's faith is put to the ultimate test when she is forced to uncover the truth behind her husband's horrific visions. So there is the disc art, and you do get a reversible on this one here. There's the reversible side. And this movie was directed by Gus Kriegler, and I don't really recognize that name. He was a producer on a movie called Would You Rather, if you guys ever seen that. If you hadn't seen Would You Rather, it's pretty twisted. But yeah, guys, that's The Binding. So we'll see. Has potential. So this next movie, I was a big fan of part 1, and I'm sure I've seen this at some point. I mean, I would have rented this in the video store. But that is Gate 2, Return to the Nightmare. Now, something else that's strange, and that's what it says on the cover, but when you look it up online, on IMDb, it says Gate 2, The Trespassers. So, you go figure. But, like I said, I don't remember this movie. I'm almost positive I would have watched it because I was such a fan of the first one. And I know I remember seeing this artwork in the video stores back in the day. But, yeah, that is Gate 2 from 1990. But it says, 4 teens summon forth a diminutive demonic minion, there's a mouthful, from the other side to do their bidding and grant their wishes. But, of course, they must all ultimately pay the price. And nobody I recognize. Inside artwork, kind of the same as the cover there. And this does have a reversible as well. But I'm a bigger fan of that other artwork, so I'm going to leave it on that side. Yeah, excited to check this one out. And I'm going to have a double feature with that one. This next one's going back to 1972. And I'm just going to show you all the movie and then I'll read the plot, guys. I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with this. But that is Night of the Lepus, however you say that. And yeah, it says giant mutant rabbits terrorize the Southwest. So, yeah, guys, I've never seen this. Now, this stars Bones off of Star Trek, DeForest Kelley. Now, you guys let me know. For whatever reason, I remember there being an episode of Star Trek where DeForest Kelley went down to a planet and there was something to do with rabbits. Was that something to do with this movie, or was this movie something to do with that episode, or is it just a coincidence, or am I thinking of this movie? I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking of a Star Trek episode, but maybe I'm thinking of this movie as a kid watching it. I don't know. But anyway, guys, you guys let me know down below. But this stars DeForest Kelley and Janet Leigh and Stuart Whitman. Of course, you got Janet Leigh from the shower scene in Psycho. Yeah. I can't get past the plot, guys. Giant mutant rabbits. Watch out, Elmer Fudd.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
So there's the inside artwork. And there's a shot of the killer rabbits. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, guys. I'm pretty excited about checking this one out. I mean, like I said, I think it'll be a good time. It might take a shot or two of whiskey, but I'm gonna get through that one. Now, this next movie came out the year I was born, 1971, and that is a movie called The Crucible of Horror. Now, I have already turned around that artwork. This was the original artwork that it came with. That was the original artwork, but I was a bigger fan of that one, so I turned it around. A mother and daughter hatch a scheme to murder their family's domineering and sadistic patriarch. This movie also goes by another name. It goes by The Corpse. So you got Crucible of Horror, aka The Corpse. It's amazing how many of these older titles had different names. Anyway, yeah, Crucible of Horror, that could be a good time, or it could be a big steaming pile of crap. So time will tell. So this next movie here is one that I know I've seen. I believe this is one that used to come on like HBO all the time back in the day. And this is just, I want to say it's really 80s, but it actually came out in 1990. But this cast is super 80s. It's a movie called Rockula. I couldn't quite place this guy, the guy on the cover there. I couldn't quite place what else he played in. And I watched the trailer and I realized that if you guys had watched Summer School, which is actually a Shout Select title, that this guy is Chainsaw from the movie Summer School, or Francis, but don't call him Francis. But it says here, it says a young vampire cannot lose his virginity because of a curse imposed upon him centuries ago. So it looks to me like when I watched the trailer that basically this is a vampire that's 400 years old that's never got lucky. That it just like every single lifetime, the girl that he falls in love with dies on a certain date or some crap like that. But it's got a very, very 80s cast. You got Dean Cameron, which is the guy here on the cover. And you got Tony Basil, who had that song in the 80s, Mickey. You guys remember that. And Thomas Dolby, another 80s music star. You also got Bo Diddley in this. And you got Tony Cox, whatever, which is the little person from Me, Myself, and Irene. The one that stole Jim Carrey's girl. So, yeah, I watched the trailer, guys. It looks campy as hell. It looks just like something right out of the 80s. And I'm not going to lie, when I first seen this cover here, I was thinking that was Sigourney Weaver on the cover there. She really looks like Sigourney Weaver right there. But yeah, I'm sure this is probably going to be fun, guys. But I mean, hopefully it's not going to be just so bad it's bad. Hopefully it's so bad it's good. And there's your reversible cover art. Yeah, I actually like that a little bit better. I think I'll flip that over. I think it'll be a fun time, guys. Glad to own it. Glad to revisit it. I know I've seen it. Just, it's been a long time ago. Alright, guys, next up, I'm actually going to show two movies. Whenever I was looking into both of these movies here, I realized that when these movies came out, they were released as a double bill. If you go out and look at the trailer for either one, you're going to see that that basically they were released in theaters or drive-ins or old grindhouse theaters as a double feature. And that is going to be Daughters of Satan and Super Beast. Now, both these movies came out in 1972. And one interesting thing about Daughters of Satan is Tom Selleck is in this. This is like Tom Selleck's second movie. He did some TV shows before this, and it looks like he was in one other feature film and like a TV movie before this came out. So this is super early in Tom Selleck's career. But both these movies are about what you expect. I mean, they're real grindhousey, like early 70s type horror. Both of them, look interesting, but they're going to be campy, they're going to be cheesy. But they both look like they're going to be a good time. The first one here, Super Beast, it says a doctor finds a jungle laboratory complete with mad scientists and genetic engineering experiments. So nobody notable in this movie here. And the other movie, Daughters of Satan, it says an antique dealer living in Manila falls victim to an ancient satanic curse, the result of his wife joining a cult. Seeking help from a local historian, he disbands the coven and rescues her. And like I said, this movie stars Tom Selleck and nobody else in the cast that I recognize. But Tom Selleck's a great actor. He's been in some great stuff, of course, Magnum P.I. That's something I'm interested in checking out, is seeing Tom Selleck in an early role. But I'll show y'all the inside there. Nothing too spectacular. I'll go ahead and pull that out and show y'all the inner artwork. And like I said, when I watched the trailer, nothing about the trailer really blew me away. But it's two that I'm definitely going to check out. And since these were released as a double bill, I will probably watch both of these in the same night. Just kind of get the same effect. But yeah, guys, that is Daughters of Satan and Super Beast. So hopefully those are going to be a good time. So next up, we have a remake of a 1971 classic, and that is a movie called Willard. And of course, this one is starring Crispin Glover. Now, I have seen the original. I have never seen the remake. I am a fan of Crispin Glover, so I'm excited to check this one out. And now, the original 1971 movie starred Bruce Davison. I'll pop his picture right up here. A lot of you guys may recognize him from X-Men, the first X-Men. He's the asshole politician that gets turned into, a mutant, whatever. He turns into like this water monster or whatever you want to call it. But he was the main star of the original Willard. Now, one cool thing that I seen when I was looking up some information about the remake is there's one shot in the movie where there is a painting hanging over the fireplace or something like that. And it's a painting of Bruce Davison, which is kind of an homage to the original character. But yeah, Crispin Glover was the star of this movie here. And for you guys that are not familiar with it, it says a young man with an unusual connection to rats uses them at his own sociopathic will. Now, this movie stars Crispin Glover and R. Lee Ermey. Now, I'm a big fan of R. Lee Ermey, obviously from Full Metal Jacket, the Texas Chainsaw remakes. So R. Lee Ermey's great.
Said that? Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant?
But this role that Crispin Glover played was originally offered to Joaquin Phoenix and Macaulay Culkin, who both turned it down. So the role ended up going to Crispin Glover, and I'm sure he does a great job. This seems like the perfect role for him. He's kind of a weird dude, and I can see him doing really good in this. And I knew that Scream Factory had released this one, and I've been wanting this one for a while, so I'm pretty glad to have it. Now, the original Willard had a sequel called Ben. Now, I do own Ben from Scream Factory. I got it, maybe a month ago. But the original Willard, which Scream Factory also put out, I haven't picked that one up yet. So it'll be cool to get the original Willard and watch that one in Ben, and then watch the remake, which is probably how I'm going to do it. But yeah, guys, it looks like a good time. Excited to have it. Crispin Glover, man, he's a weird dude, but I am a fan. Our next up, we have a Demi Moore movie from 1988, and it's a movie called The Seventh Sign. I watched this one time, a long time ago, and it must have been a couple years after it came out, because I remember renting this movie and watching it over with some friends. And I remember it being a good movie, but it's not one that I ever went back and revisited again. But I do remember the movie, so that's always a good sign, considering the movie came out in 1988. So, but it says here, Abby Quinn is eagerly awaiting childbirth, but is haunted by dreams where she suffers a miscarriage. When she decides to rent a room to a mysterious stranger, she realizes a chain of events that will unleash the end of humanity. This stars Demi Moore and Michael Biehn. I'm a big fan of Michael Biehn, so I'm excited to see him in this. And they say here, this being kind of an end-of-the-world type movie, that Michael Biehn was probably cast because of how great he did in Terminator. That's what I was reading anyway. But Michael Biehn, great actor. I wish he had got bigger. I wish he had got more roles. Everything I've ever seen him in, I've always been a fan. No reversible in this here, so same old, same old. Yeah, this came out in 1988. This was a couple years before Ghost came out. Ghost came out in 1990. So, and I know that after this, she did a couple other supernatural thrillers. But this was the first one that she'd ever done in this genre. But I remember her doing a good job with it. So I'm excited to check that one out. All right, next up, we have a movie that stars two of my favorite actors. And that is Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton. And that is a movie called Brain Dead. Love that cover there. Now, guys, I don't think I've ever seen this. Maybe once I watch it, it'll jar my memory, but I don't think I've ever seen it. This movie came out in 1990. It says, in a showdown of man versus machine, Martin plunges into a chaotic nightmare trying to save his mind from the Megalomaniac Corporation. I don't think I said that right. Megalomaniac. Megalomaniacal Corporation. We'll try that. Yeah, like I said, it stars Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton. Also stars George Kennedy. And something else is interesting about this is there's a guy in this called John Paxton, and it says here he's listed as a board member in the movie. But John Paxton is Bill Paxton's dad. He passed away in 2011. Of course, Bill Paxton passed away a couple years ago, which is super sad. He was one of my favorite actors, and he just went way too young. But yeah, super excited to check this one out, guys. I do believe that this does have a cult following. As far as special features on this one, you don't get much. You get a commentary and a theatrical trailer, and no reversible artwork. There's some disc art with Bill Paxton and Bill Pullman right there, and there's a shot of inside artwork. But that is one that I'm glad to own, and I am looking forward to checking it out. Next up, we have a movie from 1978, and it's a movie called The Evil. And there is a shot of that artwork. And there's the back. It says, a doctor buys a Civil War-era dilapidated mansion and hires a few friends to fix it up. But the mansion hides a deadly secret. And this stars the great Richard Crenna. Yeah, Richard Crenna was great. Every time I think of Richard Crenna, obviously the role that he's known for is Rambo. First Blood, is Lieutenant Troutman, and that's the role that I know him from. But he's been in a ton of shit. So, yeah, but Richard Crenna is great. I'll show you guys the inside artwork, similar to the cover there. Nothing spectacular, and a shot from the inside. So, don't know much about this movie, guys. I am hoping it's a good one. But yeah, that is The Evil. Now, this next movie here is interesting. It's a movie called Scream for Help. And I'll just show you all the cover there. Now, this movie here was written by Tom Holland. Now, Tom Holland's one of my favorite directors. He was the director of Child's Play. He was the director of Fright Night. He was the director of Thinner, the Stephen King movie. And he also was the writer on some of my favorite movies. My favorite horror movie, Psycho 2. He was the writer on that. So this was supposed to be the third collaboration between writer Tom Holland and director Richard Franklin. Richard Franklin was the director of Psycho 2 and also Cloak and Dagger. Tom Holland was the writer. So Psycho 2 obviously is my favorite horror film of all times. And Cloak and Dagger recently just got a release from Vinegar Syndrome that's coming out. So this was supposed to be the third collaboration between these two. But Richard Franklin was starting to kind of blow up here, and he thought it would be bad for his career to do such a low-budget film like Scream for Help. So that's kind of a shame. It would have been exciting to see these two guys collaborate again. Because Tom Holland, he's way underrated. I know in our circle, us horror fans, we know who Tom Holland is. But most people out in the world, if you mention the name Tom Holland, it's not going to have the same tone as John Carpenter or Stephen King, or Clive Barker or somebody like that. But, I mean, he definitely should be. Tom Holland is one of my favorite directors, one of my favorite writers. He's done some fantastic horror movies, and I'm a huge fan. So that alone makes me excited to watch this. This is something I'm going to put at the top of the pile. Now, it may suck, I don't know, but, if Tom Holland's attached to it, I'm definitely going to watch it. But there is the artwork for Scream for Help, and we do get a reversible cover on this. There's the reversible. This came out in 1984, not sure if I mentioned that or not. It says, a teenage girl discovers that her stepfather is trying to murder her and her mother, but when she tells people, no one believes her. So, whenever Richard Franklin stepped down as director, they brought in a guy named Michael Winter. And I'm looking to see what else Michael Winter did. Okay, now Michael Winter did this in between Death Wish 2 and 3. He directed Death Wish 2 and 3. And something else that's interesting is Cloak and Dagger is coming out by Scream Factory. Death Wish 2 is coming out by Scream Factory. So there's a little bit of a relation there. So that's kind of cool. But that might be way more information than you guys wanted about Scream for Help. Yeah, I'm hoping that's going to be a good one, guys. So next up, we have another old one. And this is one called Dr. Blood's Coffin. So it's another old one, guys. There's the back. There it is in color. But this is from 1961. It says, we dare you to look into Dr. Blood's coffin in glorious Eastman color. It says, people are mysteriously disappearing near a remote Cornish village where a scientist is experimenting with reviving the dead. And yeah, I don't see anybody in this that I recognize, guys. Not surprising. But yeah, that's Dr. Blood's coffin. I'll show you guys the inside of it. You get some pretty neat looking artwork on the inside. There's the disc. And that's one thing I can say about these old movies is the artwork and these old lobby cards or posters, whatever you want to call these. They're always fantastic. And they were actually works of art. We don't get a whole lot of that nowadays. All right. Now this next one here, this is actually not a Screen Factory title. It's a Shout title. And I normally don't pick up Shout Factory titles. I pretty much stick to the Screen Factory and the Shout Selects. But this is one that my buddy Brian over at Brian Goes Blue recommended. And if Brian's going to recommend something, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to pick it up. And this was going on their going out of print list that Shout Factory put up recently. And Brian just shot me a message saying it was a super fun movie. It was going out of print. I may want to pick it up. So I decided to go ahead and grab it. And that is a movie called Nightmare at Noon. And this movie here is starring Wings Hauser, Bo Hopkins, and George Kennedy. Yeah, George Kennedy, man, he was in so much crap back in the day. But this movie came out in 1988. It says scientists poison the water supply of a small town, turning the residents into homicidal maniacs who kill each other and anybody who passes through. And this stars Wings Hauser, Bo Hopkins, George Kennedy, and Brian James. And I'll throw this up here. When I think Brian James, I think Tango and Cash. He plays the asshole bad guy in Tango and Cash, and that's what I always go back and remember him for. And they say in this movie here, I don't think he says a spoken line in the whole movie. Now, Wings Hauser, what I was reading, is he had a real bad drug and alcohol problem while this movie was being filmed. And there was actually one part of the film, offset, whatever, where him and his brother was in a hotel room. They got in a big fight. He put his brother's head through the wall, and he ended up getting arrested. And the producer and the director had to go bail him out. But supposedly he was a pain in the ass to work with around this time. He had a really bad drug and alcohol problem. So, just a little information about him. And I'll pop a picture of Wings Hauser up here in case you need a visual picture to remember who he is. Because I had to look him up myself. I've heard the name, but I needed to put a face with a name. So there's the artwork there on the disc, and you just get a shot of the movie there. But yeah, like I said, Brian Goes Blue. If he recommends it, I'm going to pick it up. And I ain't gonna say we have the same taste, but more than not, when he recommends something, it turns out to be something I enjoy. All right, moving on to the next one. Now, I did not realize that I had seen this movie, but I had watched this movie probably 5 or 6 months ago on Shudder, and it's a movie called What Keeps You Alive. And this is an IFC Midnight. And guys, I'm telling you, this is a pretty solid movie. I was just online searching for something to watch late one night, and I came across this movie here, and it blew me away. This was a really fun movie. So guys, if you hadn't seen this is going to be a recommend for me. It says majestic mountains, a still lake, and venomous betrayals engulf a female married couple attempting to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. Guys, I don't want to say too much about the plot because I don't want to give anything away, but if you can run across this on streaming, if you guys don't want to just do a blind buy, look it up on Shudder. I want to say it was Shudder I seen this on, but I would start there. It was either Shudder or Netflix, but I'm pretty sure this was on Shudder. Yeah, I went in and just saying, okay, I've never seen this. I'll turn it on, kind of play it in the background, and it ended up drawing me in, and I really enjoyed it, guys. But I did not remember the name of it when I picked this up from Screen Factory. So when I watched the trailer after I got this in, before I did this unboxing, I was like, damn, I seen that. That's a good flick. So yeah, I'm excited to have this one, guys. That was a nice surprise. So there's the disc art. You guys, you know how it is. We watch so many movies. Sometimes it's hard to remember, especially on movies like this. I'm not familiar with any of the actors or actresses or the movie itself. It's easy to forget, sometimes. At least it is for me. But yeah, guys, this was a solid flick. If you hadn't seen this, I'd give it a watch. Next up, we have a movie from 2018, and this is a movie called Our House. And I'm not familiar with this one at all, but it's another IFC Midnight, so I'm excited about that. And it says, a young genius accidentally invents a device that amplifies the paranormal activity within his family's house, possibly bringing back the spirits of loved ones and unleashing things far worse. But I love that plot, guys. That plot sounds great. Sounds right up my alley. This stars John Ralston, Thomas Mann, and Halloween Kills. Thomas Mann played the young Hawkins in the beginning of the movie. So that's where I recognized him from when I was looking up the trailer on this. But yeah, guys, I love movies like this, and I'm excited to check this one out. So hopefully this is going to be a good one. So, like I said many, many times before, guys, if it's an IFC Midnight, whatever, I'll give it a watch. Most are pretty good. And guys, we're going back again. This is another one from 1969, and it's one called Eye of the Cat. It's the next one on our list here. And it says, a man and his girlfriend plan to rob the mansion of the man's eccentric but wealthy aunt. However, the aunt keeps dozens of cats in her home, and the man is deathly afraid of cats. So, I don't see a shot here on the artwork to show you guys, but I'm looking on IMDb, and the shot it shows from the trailer is a white cat with blood all over its mouth. So maybe this is going to be like an animal attack type movie. I'm not 100% sure. I don't recognize anybody in this cast, and I'll show you guys the inside artwork. I mean, pretty plain, and that's actually a much better artwork. I'm going to go with that. So that was the reversible there compared to that shit. So I'm definitely going to flip that over. Much better artwork. So Eye of the Cat, you know, it's going to be hit or miss. You know, there we go. You get an alternate television cut, still gallery, and theatrical trailer. Alright, now this next movie here, I was like, you know, shit, I don't need to grab this. I got that Urban Legends box set. I believe it was from 88 Films. But, you know, completing the set, guys, I got this real cheap off eBay. It's Urban Legends Final Cut. You know, guys, there was no reason for me to buy this. Like I said, I have that box set. I mean, you know, kind of pain in my ass, but I didn't want to have everything but one. So, like I said, I got this for like $9. It was super cheap. So I went ahead and grabbed it just so, you know, being the completionist I am with the Scream Factory shit. So you guys don't judge too harsh. But there's the inside artwork. And you guys know these movies, guys. I mean, it's Urban Legends. Most people have seen these. This movie came out in 2000. Not very many big names in this at all. A film school is the center of a fresh spat of killings based on urban legends. So guys, I mean, you know what you're getting with this. Either you're a fan or you're not. But yeah, I got it, guys. Got it cheap. Got it off the list. Alright. This is one from 1969. And that is Fangs of the Living Dead. Really good artwork, guys. And like I said, the more I watch these older movies, the more I'm becoming a fan. You know, it's just either you love them or you hate them. But you know, you probably owe it to yourself to watch one or two of them to see if you enjoy them. Like I said, when I first started watching some of these older movies, I was like, you know, I don't want to watch this 1965 vampire movie, yada yada. But you know, most of these that I watch, guys, I really enjoy. I really do. It says here, a beautiful virgin inherits a castle, but when she arrives at it, she finds that the inhabitants include a strange nobleman and a bevy of beautiful women she suspects may be vampires. Nobody in the cast that I recognize, guys, but you know, like I said, we're all horror fans here, and you know, without movies like this back in the day, probably not this one, but without movies like this, you know, all these old movies. I mean, this is where it started from, guys. Yeah, they're not gonna hold up special effects wise. They're not gonna hold up acting wise. It was a different era, but you know, I appreciate them, guys. And like I said, usually I'll sit there and I don't even realize it, but I'm like watching the movie, it's like, hell, this is pretty good. And then once I watch the special features on these, and a lot of times they will have interviews from the cast now, being much older, and just kind of see, you know, how movies were made back then and stuff like that. I mean, guys, I get off on shit like that. I really enjoy it. So the more I watch them, you know, I feel like I'm getting a broader appreciation for the horror genre. You know, I don't know, guys. I'll shut the hell up. Maybe all that shit sounds dumb to everybody, but to me, guys, being a movie fan, I really enjoy kind of, you know, broadening my horizons in the horror genre and watching some of this older shit that I never heard of, never seen. And without these Scream Factory titles, I probably never would have watched. And speaking of that, I'm going to go into one that has a really strange damn title. And that is a movie called The Vampire and the Ballerina. Really cool artwork, really strange name. But there's a shot of the back, guys. This is an old black and white one. And this is from 1960. And it says, a trope of beautiful young dancers find themselves stranded in a sinister, spooky old castle, not knowing that it is home to a group of vampires. You know, nothing original. I mean, this is going to be another vampire movie, and I know they made a ton of them back then, guys. You know, back then we didn't have our Freddys, we didn't have our Jasons, we didn't have all these great, you know, horror icons we have now. Back then it was stuff like this, and this was the big deal. And you know, that's why they made so many movies on it, because everybody wanted to go see the latest vampire movie, the latest Hammer film. Guys, like I said, I have grown to appreciate all this old shit. So I'm gonna shut up about all that, guys. But you know, you guys know how I feel about it now. And don't get me wrong, there's some that I watch that are better than others, but it's worth it to me to kind of go through maybe one or two bad ones to find one or two good ones that you probably never would have seen before. Alright, guys, the last one we have on our list for this collection update, and I know most people are going to think, damn, that's just a Teen Wolf ripoff. This movie came out a few years before Teen Wolf, and this is one called Full Moon High. And it's another one I grabbed from that out of print sale, because I had heard of this movie, but I'd never seen it. I really don't know that much about it, and I just realized my damn case came cracked right there, which I got a bunch of these cases laying around, which is a pain in the ass. This came out in 1981, and this stars Adam Arkin and Alan Arkin. Now, this is the first time that father and son, Adam Arkin and Alan Arkin, ever did a movie together. It also stars Ed McMahon, obviously from The Tonight Show, and Damon Wilson, which you guys might know as Lamont from Sanford and Son. I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie before. I'm not sure I've ever seen him in anything besides Sanford and Son. But he's in this. So that will be fun. It also stars Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi himself. So he's playing a character called the Silversmith. And guys, this was directed by Larry Cohen. Larry Cohen directed movies like The Stuff, Q the Winged Serpent, and many other things. So, I mean, great director. So that's promising. But it says a popular high school football player becomes a werewolf after a trip to Romania and struggles to come to terms with his new reality. I think it's going to be a fun time. So I'm looking forward to checking it out, guys. I'm sure. I mean, I grew up as a fan of Teen Wolf, so I'm going to go in this a little biased. Whatever, think of Teen Wolf's probably going to be better, but I'm going to try to go into it with an open mind. Okay, that's not going to help. That's not going to help going into it with an open mind. What the hell is that? But yeah, guys, I don't know. And I'm going to show you a shot of the werewolf there if you can see it. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm going to go into it with an open mind. It says a new audio commentary with director Larry Cohen. You get a theatrical trailer. So, not much there, but I mean, the audio commentary with the director will be kind of neat. But yeah, that's Full Moon High, guys. Well, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys hanging out if you guys are still here. But I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank y'all so much for the support. And just a friendly reminder, please go over to Born to Be Rad's channel and give me a vote if you feel so inclined. I would really appreciate it. But I really want to try to win this thing, guys. It would mean a lot to me if I could get your guys' support. So just go over to Born to Be Rad. His channel will be down below. And I'm going to link that video down below where you can go watch the video and vote. And be sure to go subscribe to my fellow nominees channel as well. But guys, I appreciate everything. Thank y'all so much for all the support. Thank y'all for watching as always. I will be back real soon with another video. You guys have a great weekend and take care.